Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Disc Golf Examiner. Today we're at Deer Lakes Park in Tarentum, PA, to cover the 2021 Steel City Classic. I'm your host, Brian Keegan, joined today by Adam Woodward, currently in the lead. Adam, how's it going?
Hey, Brian, what's up? So happy to examine this disc golf in this back nine.
Yeah, man. Deer Lakes is one of my favorite courses, and what's really interesting about this back nine is that you currently are tied for the lead with somebody on the chase card. So we aren't going to be able to get to see that person, unfortunately, but he was just there. So as far as what you're going through, Adam, here, going into the back half of this course, do you have a different mindset? Are you just trying to grab every birdie that you can get? What's going through your head?
I'm hoping for the best. This back nine, or really it's back 11, can be very crushing. And I have nightmares about hole 16. So it's really like, just trying to keep it together. There's definitely a lot of scoring opportunities, but it's a great course. It's a lot of different shots in order to score. So it's focus, keep the emotions in check, keep the game plan going, and try your best. See what happens.
Hole 12 is a par 3. It is 333 feet. If you get off the tee and don't hit a tree, you're pretty good on this hole.
Yeah, that's a staggered tree coming through, so it really fits nicely for an Anheuser out of the hand, or really a Heiser out of the hand, a Heiser flip, or force it over. This is not the best attempt, but if you can get about that line and get it to turn its apex and go towards the basket, kind of like this, much better, and Park City.
Wow. So we've seen Mitch in the previous round. He had a double bogey and a bogey, and he's birdied his way back up. And for the round, he is 2 under. So he is really pulling through here.
Yeah, I'm stoked for Mitch, and it's a great card. We're having a lot of fun, and I really enjoy playing and kind of talking up your card mates and trying to have a good time and encourage everybody. And when people are getting down on themselves, just give them some encouragement and help them push through, even though you're competing against them. I feel like when everybody plays better, you just have a lot more fun, and when people are having fun, the scores are better normally.
Yeah, that's something that I really love about our community is that we don't really have guys that are going after each other. We're we all like to play with each other.
Yeah, compete. No doubt. I mean, we're trying to win.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But at the same time, it's a tight community, and we welcome everybody out from out of state, and just the spirit of the game. Really, we're just trying to promote that, and a lot of the new people who are coming into the scene, just trying to set the right examples for them.
And Mitch is going to grab that birdie very easily there, coming up to a stroke under you.
Mark with the umbrella bag on from 5 feet. That's a good example of what could happen when you don't go through your routine on camera.
As we go into hole 13, it's a par 4, 417 feet up the hill. You have to go through the tight gap, up the hill, avoid these trees, and then you have to go down over the next valley here. And there's actually a little fort that the basket hides behind here, a little fort of wood there. And the basket, of course, sits on a hill, which then rolls down into a watery area. It's casual water, but regardless, there's rollaways abound on this hole typically.
For sure. The ideal shot is something that's going to go straight here. I mean, it's a good example from Mitch on what the ideal shot is, just trying to avoid those trees at the top of the hill. If you can throw something on Heiser that's kind of going to push right and get yourself down into the ditch, almost like that. It is the current position over here on this peninsula, the wall hole or whatever we're calling it, is probably the easiest of the three positions. So it definitely presents a good scoring opportunity before going into the tough hole 14.
And it looks like, oh, no, Mark's going to clip a tree. He's going to end up on the red tee, though, so he should have an easy upshot from there. That's the one thing. Once you get to the tees, you know that there's a gap somewhere for you to hit, at least.
Yep.
And that's beautiful, but unfortunately a little bit further left than where the basket is.
Oof. Yeah, just to get over this crest on your drive is ideal. So we got 3 drives that haven't quite gotten over the top, and it makes it quite challenging for sure. So it's a good drive, easy hole, bad drive, very difficult hole. Unless you're Mitch, who is catching fire right now after a slow start.
Holy cow, yeah.
Just putting it in there and giving himself a look at the birdie.
Oh no, Chris caught a second tree there. He's not happy with that. And a little long. Yeah, you're fine with that putt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another good example of I could have gone through the tighter gap to try to pin it, chose to go through the wider gap, throw it to circle's edge-ish, just to take the odds, put the odds in my favor, take those trees out of play. So that's a good tip for anyone, when you're in trouble or whatever, sometimes it's better to give yourself a 40-footer and play to the 40-footer than trying to put it right next to the basket.
And Mark will come to a stop there right before it could have gotten worse.
This would be a sick birdie from Mitch if he can dump this in.
Wow. Yes.
He's warming up.
There's a little bit of a delay on the next tee, so he did it right in front of everybody he's competing against on Chase Card, tying up with you here on this hole. It's provided you make this putt. Oh no, sorry, that was for your birdie. Wow.
You bet. There it is. There's the graphic. I need an examination on that.
That's right.
Yeah, the next hole typically has weight. So it's a good social hole on the tee pad. Everybody hanging out when you have 2-3 groups backed up. Just really nice in the woods, early spring. I mean, just look how beautiful this looks.
It really is. Hole 14 is a par 5, 714 feet. You kind of have to play over this ravine where the red tee is there, and you have to play through this gap, or there's a gap on the right-hand side as well. I think this one kind of gives you a little bit more better look at the basket on the left-hand side. Play up this other hill, and the basket is in a guarded position up here.
Yeah, there's 2 kind of main gaps with bunker trees carrying down the middle. And if you're in that bunker in the middle, kind of the middle of the playing area, you really don't have a lot. So throw in a turnover to get yourself really far right, which is where Mitch is headed, or kind of playing a hyzer flip that finishes left, which looks like this, and just kind of missing that high branch that's really just blocking that gap. The left side, a lot of trees have been falling down. You can see some leaners over there. The left side has really started to open up over the years and given more opportunities to get further off your drive and make the upshot the second shot up a little bit simpler.
And Mark's throwing from the red tees again for a second shot, so that's, like we said, not a bad thing.
Ooh,
and Chris,
greasy.
Wow,
crushed.
Yeah, great shot. Mark making it through that gap, just kissing a tree. Unfortunately, rolling back down that hill.
Yeah, so even though this is pretty far left, there's just a lot of gaps that have opened up over there, and just a nice hyzer flip get you up on the other side of the hill, and that's all you're really looking for, just not to hit any early trees.
Ooh, and you made it just past me.
There you go.
I did not expect it to come that way.
And this is tough. This is kind of in that fringe area with all the bunker trees in the middle. And to get through there is tip top. I mean, that's just a great outcome no matter where it lands.
And Chris, for his second shot, unfortunately going to clip a tree, but he's up on that hill for his second shot. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, being down in the stitch is tough. So Mark's going to show us how to get up and down, hopefully.
And wow, that is a crush uphill.
Boom. There you go.
Wow.
Those feel good from a recovery with a shot like that. It's good power from an awkward stance.
That must be from his ultimate background.
Yeah, those patent pending are kind of the norm. So our previous ultimate players or current ultimate players definitely learn how to get the quads into the stance and get that wide timing in the swing. And it just opens up a lot of opportunities.
How about Chris pitching up and getting he's going to get an easy birdie on this one.
Yeah, a good drive on this hole can result in easy birdie, but at the same time, you tip one tree, you're just a couple inches off, and it can be a double bogey.
Wow, that was so close there for Mark. Mitch grabbing his birdie.
On fire. That's how excited I was about Mitch's putt.
Yeah. And let's see. Chris has got a kind of a weird stance here, but this is for his birdie. Yeah.
Close enough. That's one of those where, like you asked on the previous video, do I want to be behind a tree and close or unobstructed and farther? I'll take close every time.
Yeah. All right, great birdie for you. Keeping Mitch off your heels there.
Yeah, we're playing well. It's a good battle going on.
Now, hole 15's par 3, 339 feet. And a little bit controversial as of today on social media. You have to play over the water here. And if you land in the water, you play from the red tee. There's a little bit of a wooden bridge here to cross. And the basket is on a raised position. Of course, OB just down the hill from it, a few feet. So always makes it interesting.
For sure. Bailing out left on this hole is definitely the best spot to be because it gives yourself, especially for a righty, gives yourself an opportunity for land behind your putt to raise basket and then hyzering away from the water. That's going to be great for Mitch. He's going to be staring at the water, though. And just a little bit low here, bouncing back into the OB, unfortunately. That OB line, you can kind of see it. It's right at the top of the ridge. It's not the water line. So you do want to make sure that you carry it all the way across onto the flat.
Chris is going to clip a tree and maybe in a good position for a putt there.
Yeah, Chris's plan is blast it.
Yeah.
So he's happy to be across. Mark going to put himself off to the right, but that's still going to be okay.
So you'll throw from the red tee here.
Yes, it's still an intimidating upshot because you don't want to give yourself a death putt, which is kind of what I'm doing here, even though it's 20 feet. And you definitely don't want to be short and have to rethrow. So. Windsock is down. No wind. Mark giving it a run.
Unfortunately, getting an OB there. Let's see if Chris can get through this. Looks like he's going to give it a run like he always does. Great birdie. Yes. Wow.
That was a good putt.
Got to see that again.
Go. Let's examine it.
Not even afraid. Not even a little bit afraid of that OB behind it. Just going for it.
And that's the mentality. If you fully commit you'll probably make it. But if you think about that water or what's going to happen if it bounces off the basket or any of those type of thoughts, it's not likely to go in.
Wow. And Mitch grabbing a birdie.
Yeah, it's
That
going to be a
means he's going to
two-stroke
pull
swing
ahead.
here.
Yeah.
I have some cleanup work to do.
There.
Little eye. But in, no pictures on the scorecard. Mark not super happy about that bounce away.
Hole 16 is a par 4. It is 507 feet. Straight through the gap here, or to the right side, there's a gap as well, and have it hook up this path. And the basket is up here on the left, on top of the hill, of course, on a hill, on the edge of a hill. That's where we like to put baskets here in Pittsburgh. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes you think. And this hole is very challenging. This is an easy hole to bogey or worse. You have two options off the tee. You can take this hyzer line, which is just as difficult. It's not as safe. I wouldn't call it a safe shot. It's just as difficult as playing the straight line, in my opinion. It's just whatever you're more comfortable with, and it's about maybe 320 from where Chris is. And just nightmares, dude. Just absolute nightmares on this hole for me. I just never play this hole well, and I always hit that first tree. So we'll see how it plays out. But it's a great opportunity to just kind of regain the composure, and Steam Mark, though, a good shot here can definitely help you do that.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, getting through that gap's one thing. Playing up both sides of the woods there, either side can really get you into danger. There's really no line through either of those woods once you're in there past 20 feet.
And this is about 250 uphill, so probably playing about 300. You know, again, if you just put yourself in the fairway, you can give yourself at least an easy par. But it's just hard to get through that first gap off the tee. And even if you're over here where Mark is, just kind of turning around the corner, you know, the hole's really not that hard if you just throw a good tee shot. But if you're off the fairway, like many of these holes in this course, like Mitch is showing us here, you just want to take your medicine. And when you're laying up, you really want to walk up, if you can, within your 30 seconds to find your ideal landing zone. Because, you know, even just an extra 5 feet to the left here could have opened up some different shot selections there for Mitch, as an example. So really take your time for your layups and get to a very specific putt spot to give yourself the best possible opportunity to recover from wherever you're pitching out from.
And Chris had a gap there. That was really good for him. Mark here outside the circle, uphill.
Yeah, not too much to worry about here. Obviously, it's on a side hill, lots of roots, but you know, with the backstop, you know, nothing really too much to worry as long as you're below the basket on this hole, and as long as you're not hitting the front of the cage and bouncing away. So this would be great to recover from the par and move on. Pretty decent putt.
Oh no.
The wheels are rolling here.
Yeah, that has legs.
That's not satisfying at all.
No.
Yeah, so that is just worst case scenario. So re-putting here, taking my penalty stroke, and to my great luck, somebody in the background had just pulled up with their car on, with their high beams on, pointing directly at the basket. So that was definitely not going in. So this is a great opportunity for Mitch to just start shutting the door here.
Yeah.
At this point, we know Vinny has fallen off a little bit of the pace as well. And then Mitch is going to take, I believe, 4 strokes on me on one hole, plus the 2-stroke swing on the last hole. So big turnaround here for him. And, you know, let's see what he's got to close out the tournament. I mean, this is what you dream about with just a few holes remaining.
Especially the next 3 holes are birdieable. I would say shorter holes compared to the other holes on this course. As we move on to hole 17, it's a par 3, 339 feet. And this one plays out across the field. There's actually a little bit of a downhill slope to this one, and then an uphill one to where the basket is. And it's a guarded position there in the woods, but there's definitely a couple of different lines that a forehand player and a backhand player, could definitely get to.
Yeah, 339 feet. It's kind of in the middle of mid-range and fairway driver for a lot of players. Mitch showing us the hyzer line through the right gap. There's also a turnover shot or a forehand that Chris is going to show us through the left gap, taking it wide and letting it swing in. The distance driver, giving yourself a look there. Not a difficult pin position here. Just wanting to get it close and give yourself a look. And the wind is really down today, which is odd for this course. So if you haven't played the course in a while and you step up to some of these shots, you're like, I don't even know what to do if there's no wind.
Looks like you're playing a flex.
Playing the buzz on a turnover line, just trying to take that gap down there a little bit. Turn too much, but still a putt. And here just, when I was watching that putter roll away on the last hole, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is a great learning opportunity to kind of fight through the emotions here. It'd be very easy to give up and throw your tournament away. But
you're not going to do that.
Just really saying, I'm going to get the next 4 holes, get this examination on this putt, on the straddle putt, and just try to get that triple bogey back to still shoot a respectable round. I'm still, second place is still there. But it's, when you're watching those bad rollaways, Mark's had a couple this round. I mean, it's so easy just to go down the downward spiral and just, let the round get away from you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Taking a couple deep breaths and just restarting. And Mitch here in the opposite position, this is all of a sudden the tournament's in his hands, and it's a different type of nerves. Not showing it, but when all of a sudden you have 4 strokes on the field, your mentality in one hole goes from a loose, got nothing to lose attack mode, trying to chase somebody down, to, oh man, I can't mess up. And that is, when that happens quickly, in the middle towards the end of a round, as Mark prays one in there, it's just, again, another mental challenge where you just want to take some deep breaths, calm your nerves, keep that adrenaline from triggering, and just continue to play your game plan.
As we go to play hole 17A, a new temp hole, par 3, it is 275 feet. You do have a lot of trees you got to throw through here, and they're a big bushy pine type, so definitely come into play. Looks like you need to throw something low, I would imagine, on a Anheuser or forearm.
Yeah, I love these 3 holes. These are all great shots. This is a kind of a nose up mid-range or fairway driver that has a little turn to it, where you can try to squeeze a forehand through there, even though forehand will tend to skip right. And obviously, because these are new holes, anything in the tree line is not great because nobody's been in there and clearing this out. And then also a high shot, as we've shown here, is not the best either because you do have quite a few trees and a low ceiling in your way. So playing the odds here is getting out to the left, keeping it low, and just trying to get within 50. And if you get closer, great. If you don't, just don't take a bogey.
You'll pitch up there a little long.
But... yeah, I did that on purpose. Another good example of I could have taken the tight gap and hit a tree 60 feet away or those low branches. I opted for the 40-footer.
Yeah.
Chris sanded one.
Yeah.
He's warming up too. So now it's me and Chris going at it, which is great. It's exciting, just to find
great
glass half full scenarios in the middle of the round. But yeah, if you're putting well and you feel like you're making 30-footer, 40-footers, play for them if you can. Don't always get close. And Mitch here again, tournament in his hands, another great putt. He has just been on fire. He's playing such a solid round, even despite that slow start. And Mark here trying to turn something around too. Mark's on a mission now too. So is another good example, kind of all of us going through these roller coaster rounds. Mark, the last few holes have made some good putts. Smiles back on his face and starting to play better. Score showing it, and he's on a mission now too to birdie the rest of the holes.
As we move on to 17B, par 3, 290 feet.
A beautiful one. You got a couple little trees in the middle that you're just trying to avoid. Otherwise, at 290 feet, fairway driver, putter, mid-range, just kind of throwing something nose up for distance control. Grass is a little bit sticky, and just trying to not hit that one tree or push it too far to the right. And I believe Chris will show us a little bit of a different line with the Nebula forehand. Yep, just getting that nose up over top that tree I was talking about, getting a crash in. I mean, it's a great shot to have touch with. Obviously throwing nose up isn't always a good habit, but if you can control distance with height, it's a good technique. Unfortunately, Chris catching that tree we're referring to. And I hit it as well, but not hard enough for it to knock it down. Great holes. What do you think about these holes, Brian? I love them.
Yeah, I think that what's nice is that they're kind of a little different than the rest of the course. It kind of gives it that variety that you don't have at Deer Lakes, where you kind of have more of an open hole, and they have some challenges that you have to get through. But I think they're really skilled shots. Mark danced and got over in.
There we go. See, smiles equal better scores. Even if you have to force yourself to smile and trick yourself into that you're happy, do it. It's worth it.
This is for Mitch's 12th birdie of the round.
Smoking, dude. He is killing it right now. Good for him. But anything can happen on 18. Anything can happen. There's a lot of OB. There's a headwind. Let's see how it plays out.
And it's a par 4. It's 603 feet. You got OB on the left-hand side where that road is. You got a new water fountain here on the edge of the road here to contend with. Maybe comes into play. And, of course, you have to get through all of these trees and down the hill. And this particular fairway plays really fast. And it plays, the hillside rolls towards the OB, of course, as always. So it's definitely an interesting part of the course.
Yeah, the tee shot is a good risk-reward shot. So you can cut a lot off and take the corner and risk OB, or you can play it wide and around. Safer shot, but limits your approach to the green. So a lot of good options here.
Textbook from Mitch there. And Mark looks like he's going with the sidearm. He's trying to do that flex and get something crazy going, but unfortunately he's going to go OB.
Mm-hmm. That would have been sick if that came out.
Yeah. And you're going to play it very safe there. That's a great shot. Yeah.
Yeah, just giving yourself an opportunity to have a forehand down there, or whatever approach shot you're going to take, and not throwing it OB. And the forehands here, watching Chris throw this over the road is just so nerve-wracking, especially when there's a headwind.
Absolutely. And it looks like Mark's going with another sidearm here. Coming right at me. Going to be OB again there.
It's a bummer.
He's going to have to move up about 10 feet and throw again. This time backhand. And it just looks like it's not coming out of that. That's really rough to see.
It's tough down there. Well, Chris going to show us a forehand here. Kind of throw it high on a hyzer, get it to penetrate down. And that's going to be about the A pin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch going to do the same thing.
Low, real low. Look at that.
Coming wow.
Past the basket, big skip. And what I did not see here was that disc got legs. And we're going to see where that thing landed. It was in bounds, but in the weirdest spot I've ever seen in my life. As you're going to pitch up there and have a long putt for your 3. Mark will be trying to make his way out of the woods. I looked up and I saw another player pointing and looking down. I thought the disc had stopped, but Mitch's disc just really kept going. You can see him down there. He's still going.
Which is crazy because it didn't seem like a bad shot. It was odd to see that it ended up way down there.
Yeah, it just caught an edge, I guess. And he is down here by one's tee pad. He rolled all the way down into the woods here. And just wait till you see his plan from here is just to get out to the road here. He wants to get out to a clear shot past this bush. So just beside the road is where he's going for. And just maybe a little shyer than he wanted, because now he's got to make it around these bushes. And unfortunately, just a little low on that one.
Yeah, we were wondering what was going on. None of us were down there and able to see it. We kind of saw him peeking around at this point. We didn't quite know what happened, and we're just up there kind of wondering how to get down there all the way. Yeah, honestly, it would have been better if it just rolled OB, because he could have just tapped up and down, and all of a sudden, I'm trying to make this putt because I don't know how many strokes he's thrown, and I could be right back in it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm thinking there's a chance. Even for a playoff, but I got 3 out of my last 4, so I recovered from that triple bogey, mission accomplished, and really stoked about the way I ended that round.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I could pick up a mini, though. Maybe I should start practicing that.
It's even more dramatic in slow-mo, isn't it? Mark has
a good line.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So what is this for?
This is for, I lost count.
I think 6 or 7?
I believe that was for a 6. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't know if it was the nerves, just like everything going on, the fact that he didn't need to make it, that he was doing so well that he didn't need to make it, or what. But, we hadn't seen him do that, taking that triple bogey. And still going to net him the win. So congratulations to Mitch. Crazy ending. I told him afterwards, I was like, hey, this is just going to be the round that you had that crazy roll away and you still won it.
Yeah,
you did so well.
Congrats to Mitch. He shredded, had some holes he'd like to have back, but taking a win down is a really good learning experience. And, good for him. Congratulations. Look forward to playing you again, and as well as Mark and Chris. But hey, thanks, Bryan. Bryan, Disc Golf Examiner. So stoked you guys always have me on, and looking forward to more coverage in the future.
So here we have the score rundown. Mitch at 10 under, yourself in second place, 9 under, and everybody else pretty close there. Cody actually came back. Looks like he had a 6 under round, I believe.
Yeah, Cody shot a 999 rated round there, second round, and the first round he was on it, just a little off, getting some bad kicks and stuff. So I was glad that he was playing well, and it showed in the second round. He came back.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for our coverage, guys. If you have any questions or like any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. We always love hearing from you guys. Remember to share the video, and that's going to do it for us. And special thank you to everybody who bought jerky and hats, honestly. That stuff is what really drives us to be able to keep doing this financially. So That's going to do it for us. So until next time, guys, keep banging,
Keep banging
those
those
chains.
chains.